One game apiece here between Startail Parting and Empire Violet. And Rob, what do you think as we go into game number 3?
Well, I mean, I love Blizzard. Let me just start that off first off. Blizzard's the best company to work for ever. And as we go into game 3, it's going to be on one of the newer maps here in the MLG map pool. We'll talk about that in just a second, though. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our players?
Let's introduce these guys. Here in the northeast corner, he took game number 1 with a very, very quick attack on the 3rd, and after that, well, Violet just wasn't able to come back. It is Startail Parting. And here in the southwest, as the blue Zerg, he definitely had a much more commanding game in game number 2 and now ties up this series. It is Empire Violet.
Now, I am at a little bit of a caster disadvantage because I was not able to watch game 1. But when I watched Violet play against Huck earlier today, where he 3-0'd Huck in all 3 games, even on Tall Dream Altar, he was able to go for that 3-hatch Roach, just destroying everything that Huck threw at him. Is that what we've seen here in these past 2 matches?
Actually, that is pretty much exactly what we've seen attempted by Violet, but it should be noted that in game 1, Parting was able to interrupt that 3rd base. In fact, he killed it, and at that point, I think that just he worked out for himself a timing that allowed him to strike before those infestors were out. It was just very, very difficult for Violet to deal with. But in Tall Dream Altar, with a little bit more map control, he fended off. Parting was going to go for DTs, but he realized that it wasn't going to work, so he switched over to Blink. A 2-base, pretty much all in at that point, and Violet handled it nicely. So, yes, Violet is going with that path. That's kind of the way that he's choosing to play, you know, these VP matches. But will it work in game 3? I don't know. Cloud Kingdom, I feel like is a little bit more like Daybreak than it would be like Tal'Darim. That 3rd is a little bit a ways. It can be easily attacked. You know, will Parting go for something similar?
Yeah, and right here we actually see the drone for Violet going in. And will the hatch? No, it's not going to get down, so it will be blocked. Will he just send another drone over to the 3rd base? It is very far away. Oh, he's going to block it with the pylon. So it's very far away from that main base in walking distance. And you can immediately see the probe is going straight over there. And let's see what... Oh, okay, he actually just did an extractor trick to go up to 20 of 18 supply. Violet, you know, he's the type of Zerg that, even though in his EVPs today, all I've seen him do is just hit SR, make roaches constantly, but you never really know what to expect from that guy. He can do some very innovative stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, JP, I want to compliment Violet on a move that he had versus MC, where he was dealing with the army of MC at the point where the supplies were still very, very close. There we do see the hatchery finally going down. But and what ended up happening was throughout all this, you know, as Violet established base number 5, he upgraded his ventral sacks. So he had drop, and then he just took 16 Zerglings, and while an engagement was happening, he dropped 16 Zerglings into the main of MC. And like right there, you know, you'd think 16 Zerglings, what's that? But while a massive battle's going on, and right after your opponent warps in, you better believe that it could do a lot. And that really stunted MC's ability to win that game. So
absolutely. Well, Violet will be open up with that 15-pull 3-hatch opening here. And definitely going to be adding in a lot of roaches. There's really that crucial point where you can see, just by the Overlord count, if the Zerg player is just going to go up on a huge amount of roaches, or if he's going to start really adding some variety to his army, adding in those infestors, possibly switching to a style that a lot of Zergs are doing in some of the other matchups, where you go very heavy upgrades on the Lings, then you add in some infestors, then get that quick hive tech up to the Broodlords.
Yeah, yeah. And we've definitely seen a faster hive coming out of Violet as of late, but of course it's good, and there the Stargate does go down. It's not going to be in a position where Violet, yes it is actually, Violet with this really, really smart Overlord. This is the 2nd time he's been able to do that. And some Zerglings even going to get in there to make that one Zergling. He's going to go in here, so he's going to see the Stargate. He's going to be able to see how many gases there are, and because there's no ground units out right now, you know, he's going to be a massive annoyance here with this one single Zergling.
Now, this is looking exactly like what he did against Huck earlier today, where he 3-0'd Huck. He gets one extractor for whatever reason in both his main and his natural. Then he's going to be adding on the Evolution Chamber, which you see here, which is definitely going to come into play if he does need those Spore Crawlers. Gets that +1 upgrade, and he'll be adding on a Roach Warren here pretty soon. Now, take a look at his drone count. He's already on 36 drones. We just saw a huge amount of larvae come as that spawn larva finished, and currently supply blocked. But we'll see if this is right around the time, around 40 or 45, where he really starts to verify what his opponent's up to and make that switch to either making units or just to continue drone.
Yeah, and believe it or not, he did not lose that Overlord that was inside his base. Of course, look at this Void Ray immediately going, oh, I'm going to get you, buddy.
He's map hacking. He's going straight to it.
He's going straight to it. He knows that it's there. And it doesn't matter. He's not revealing the Void Ray because he already saw the Stargate. And now we see the proper response from Violet, and this is something that he's done in every single game, which is just, I'm going to throw down a single Spore Crawler at each of my bases. In fact, he doesn't even need one in the main, thanks to the configuration of this map. So that will save him the minerals on that. But did the Roach Warren go down and I just missed it? Yeah, yes. Okay, there it is. So he put the Evo down right away as he saw that Stargate. The Roach Warren, of course, coming in behind it. And then, liking to go this style with the +1 carapace instead of missile attack. And also going to throw down a Spine Crawler here at the third, which I think is very much necessary, just to make sure that there isn't like a Zealot follow-up as well.
Right. Here are the gateways being added on for Parting. The drone count, he's going to kind of split his larva with drones and units because sure, he did open up Stargate, Parting opened up Stargate, but you still need some units because most of the time Protosses do follow this up with a heavy onslaught of gateway units. But you can afford to drone pretty hard. He's going to be up to 60 here in just a minute. And with that lair about halfway complete, he's got some Spore Crawlers coming down. And the Roaches are starting to be built here with 4 already in production. And those will be the first 4 on the way. I love the fact that he does have this small scouting party of Lings out on the map. He can try to deny any stalkers like that, or just take out some forward pylons if he can find them.
And these, this little trio of air units is actually doing quite a good job. And here we go, Lings on the counterattack. Do you see that the third base is going up? Ooh. Now, here is something interesting. Parting did this exact same thing where he threw down the pylon at his third. And although Violet never saw it, this was on Tall Dream Altar, it definitely appeared like he was getting ready to expand.
Right,
when in actuality, what it was he was preparing for a, sort of big attack here. And, oh, he did pylon block right here, but he's going to get another free pylon. There are a lot of units heading over right now, including a ton of sentries. There's Roaches and 1 Spine Crawler already sitting here, but keep in mind those Phoenixes can do a few lifts if they need to. It's all going to come down to the force fields of Parting, but keep in mind, he's got these Lings coming in from the back. If he can wait and possibly go in for some sort of a flank, but that's not going to happen. Parting's too smart. He knows exactly what's going on, and he puts some space in between the units here at Violet's third and those Lings in the back.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that Violet has bought himself enough time to be able to have enough forces to deal with this. He's got Spine Crawlers at his third. He can easily see where his opponent will attack. He's even darting in with those Lings and trying to put some hurt onto the pylons because, of course, if you knock those down, your opponent simply cannot reinforce. But he's sitting at 55 drones. That's a healthy drone number to be able to defend against an attack. And Parting is about to slip into the natural. The sentries are in the back. So the force fields are going down, and now he's split the Lings from the Roaches, and Burrow comes into play.
Nice.
No Observer in sight, so Parting is going to have to get out of town.
I mean, Burrow completed like seconds before he was able to do that. So although it seemed like not a good situation for Violet to go into, knowing just how many sentries are there, that was a good energy burn right there.
It's pretty remarkable there because all Violet did was just burrow. He doesn't have burrow movement or anything like that, but that was enough to scare Parting away.
Oh yeah.
And now Parting's really confused as to what he really has to do. We have the Robotics Bay coming in as well as the Twilight Council back at home. But Parting hasn't retreated just yet. He can kind of keep this contained on his opponent, pick away Spine Crawlers like he's doing it over here at the third base, but just a huge force for Violet.
Okay, now Parting's going to get out of there because that Void Ray finally got a glimpse of exactly what army Violet is on, and this army would have eaten that alive, good force fields or not, especially now no burrow movement is on the way. As far as I can tell, I don't think that he's got it quite yet, but I mean, Yeah, he does not have it. I think that was definitely a smart move here, but we've got a burrowed Ling,
wow.
and that's going to throw back even more. An Observer is coming out just as they discover that the Nexus cannot go down, so we will be able to clean that up. But keep in mind, this is that point where we're going to see the Protoss sitting at about 120 supply as Violet maxes out.
Yeah, typically when the third base goes up for the Protoss, that is going to be when the Zergs really go for an attack, because it's 400 minerals that won't be in their army. They won't have the upgrades just yet after a retreat like that. You can see +2 is only about halfway. Blink, pretty close to being finished here, and the Colossus are not out on the field. I love the fact that he has this little party, excuse me, going over on the left-hand side of the map towards the third, while the remainder of his forces remains at home.
Yeah, now it would be great if he could keep these units sort of incognito at this point, stealth mode if you will, but he's going to go ahead and go in, potentially try to force a cancel. There's a lot of Protoss units here though, and they will take out a few Lings in the process. There's the blink forward. He wants to do a lot more damage. They actually could. Now behind this, Violet is grabbing a 4th base right now, so this is really not that big of a loss as 8 Infestors are on the way, +2 Carapace and +1 melee right around the corner. Now that he's got these Infestors in play, even with Blink just completing for parting, that's of course going to put him in a good position. Now we see Hive started and the Spire, so this is exactly where Violet wants to be, and this is actually where we saw him become very powerful versus a Protoss like MC.
Yeah, this is going to be that tech swap to very heavy Ling play. The Roaches at this point, he might just go for an attack once he gets a greater Spire out. You see him getting the +1 melee attacks as that's about to finish. +2 Carapace, very close to being finished as well. And with these Infestors, he can get pretty aggressive. The big thing is that he cannot lose too many of them in the attacks. That's one thing that even the tip-top Zergs in the world, the Nesties, the DRGs, fall victim to sometimes, is really forgetting the Infestors exist after they drop Fungal in a fight.
And he's going to move forward only to find out that there is a single Stalker at that tower. And look at that, he actually, some buffed force fields there, but he actually thought that he was down by that tower. He's now moved back. I do not believe that this 4th base has been scouted yet by Parting either. If we take a look at the vision, that 4th base is still blind to Parting at this point in time. But he did throw back down his robotics bay a while ago after he did the retreat, so he's already got halfway through extended thermal lance. Just throwing some more pylons there to bolster his supply. Has the first Colossus out already with more on the way. Number 2's about ready to pop. So, you know, sitting good, but here's Violet taking base number 5 and getting to that point where, of course, the, you know, the production will really start to kick into full effect. He's got some Lings here to be able to do some damage. You know, again, keep in mind, look for those run-bys. Look for a potential drop, but the Greater Spire's on the way, so as long as he holds out to those Broodlords, he'll be in good shape. And these are good units to throw away because he's already maxed. He's going to need to get those Corruptors out. He's going to need to be able to build, and he'll need a supply for the Broodlords. So do we have any Corruptors out? Yes, we do, but there are only 4 at this point. So
yeah, that was a very well-calculated kind of throwaway for Violet. And as we see the army of Parting go over here to the 4th base, I do want to remind everyone that this tournament has really been Violet's tournament as the Protoss Slayer. He took out MC, 3-0 Tuck. And if he can take out Parting, that is going to put him in a very good spot. But here's Violet going for a big run by over into the natural, and he's also freeing up supply here as 5 more Corruptors are coming with 4 Broodlords back at home. And all those Infestors,
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to be able to attack from the back, and he is going to be split up in 2. Now, the Lings never made it inside, and finally some Stalkers will actually go. We have a Zealot here at the front as well, and the 2 sentries that were warped in did go down, but honestly, I feel like he's just buying a little bit of time here. The hatch did go down at that 4th, but keep in mind he does have this one just east of his expansion that is up as well. Now, he kept all of his Infestors back home, so nothing lost there. Look at how much energy they have, JP. Look, we've got the initial Broodlords out as well. He's got to be very careful, although this is bad for Violet to lose this base. I think he has to attack at this point.
Yeah, Violet's drone count is actually exceptionally low, only at 60, but here comes a big push forward with the blink and taking out a lot of those Broodlords. The Fungals are being dropped down so much here on these Stalkers, and Violet is destroying this army. And there's only 1 Colossus remaining. What a great defend there for Violet.
Parting just, I think, got a little bit over eager in taking out those Broodlords, blinking underneath them. The Infestors were there to go ahead and fungal. He's going to up on those Broodlords as well. And, I mean, the supply tells the story. 129 to 160 right there. Another base is going up, but what are you owing over there?
Well, in the production tab, it tells what may be coming. Yeah, so we have a mothership here coming out for Parting. He does not have, as far as I can tell, Templar Archive, so no Archon Toilet, at least right now in the game. But those Colossus can kind of serve as a semi-Archon Toilet with their lasers going down on the Vortex afterwards. So I don't really know if that's the right late game. He doesn't really have the army for it right now in Parting. And with this big push for Violet, if he spreads out his Broodlords properly, this might be all she wrote for Parting.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think that, Violet is actually looking to be in very good shape. Notice that he does have these two Overseers right here, and with nothing to block this, he could walk right into the natural. He's not even going to work on those rocks at all. There's still just the single Zealot right there, and all he wants to do is bait this army out just a little bit. He'll split things up, but as the Broodlords continue to siege the natural, what can Parting do?
And Parting also has a small force over here of Stalkers that are going to try to do they're going to try to intercept with this. Oh, they're walking straight into all the Spine Crawlers. Meanwhile, Violet is pushing forward into the natural. The mothership is out. It has not been seen. And it looks like that's what's Parting waiting for.
I don't know that it matters, man. I mean, everything's been taken apart. Do we have another Robo inside the main base? We do not. So the only Robo that exists for Parting is actually down and out right now. The mothership does come into play. He's just going to back it up a little bit because he knows that he's got to be able to use it to try to get a supply advantage here at this point in time. But look at this Nexus in the natural is going to be taken out, and these Lings are going to have free reign over the base inside. The Fleet Beacon will be the first target there, and at this point, I feel like Violet may be going in for the killing blow.
I think that Parting is going to be waiting for one last stand as he warps in a lot of Templars here, trying to get those Archons out, but they are right next to the army of Violet. He's trying to get some feedbacks onto those Infestors. He gets one. Is he going to be able to get any more? No, they're getting stopped by the Broodlords, and two of them go down. Only two Archons are out here for this Archon Toilet. He's going in for the Vortex. He has a great position to go ahead and do it, and there he goes. Gets so many of the Broodlords, but only two are. Oh no, he gets bungled. The Archons are not able to go in.
Only one goes in.
Only one remains. And I don't know if he's going to have enough to be able to take out the remaining units inside. We're about to find out.
But look at the Lings inside the main. They are just eating away at everything. Out comes everything out of the Vortex. And look at the Broodlords get absolutely eaten apart. They are going to get some final damage there at the end. And the supply still looking to be in favor of Violet, 145 to 95. Here comes another swell of Lings going into this last mining base from Parting. And that is just going to be all she wrote, because at this point in time, he can go ahead and resupply. 7 Corruptors, 4 Infestors are on the way. Mothership or not, how can he possibly stay alive when most, if not all, of the production has nearly been taken out, and he's just trying to kill these final Nexus. There is going to be one point, I feel like Parting's going to be able to attack, but I mean, the reinforcements are going to start coming so quickly here for Violet.
What Violet needs to do is make sure that he does not get too many broods, because that mothership is still going to be a pretty big annoyance. If he can take it out with the Corruptors and then the Colossus right after, he will be okay, but also he has these Spine Crawlers working for him. The Infestors are somewhat behind. They need to get in there and do the Fungals. This is not over just yet. He has one last army to be able to take out, and I don't know if he could do it. He did not have that many resources stockpiled be able to get really a big count of those larvae really to make anything.
I mean, it is a bit surprising. Let's see how many probes both of our players are left. 26 probes here for Parting. You know, the problem is that although he may have stabilized, and he did, you know, keep in mind, there's one pylon up here. If you would have taken out a few of these pylons, I think that he would have crippled this production even more. But it's not really that Parting has the spending power to use those gateways anyway. The thing is that there's only one mining base here now for Violet as well. And if you just decide to throw everything into Zerglings, you know, that's not going to be as cost efficient, but we're going to see this go up again. He's going to start some drones, long distance mining. But keep in mind too, any Lings could run into the main right now and continue to do more damage. Storm is on the way for Parting. I mean, what a game.
Yeah, if Storm is able to be finished, then that is going to really, really hurt because right now that mothership does have 100 energy. It will be able to do that. Archon Toilet. The Corruptors are out on the field, but there's so many Stalkers here that they're not going to be able to just blindly go in like we've seen Stefano do to take out that mothership. He's not that far ahead in this match. 3 more Broodlords coming in, and Psystorm is getting close to being finished here. The supplies are dead even. There's no way to call a winner right now in this match.
I mean, I thought for certain that we were looking at victory here for Violet, but Parting made a great decision by going in and killing both that 4th and the 5th base. Now, what I'm worried about as far as Violet's concerned is how's he going to take care of that mothership? He's only got about 4 Corruptors out right now. There's a few more Lings inside the main base trying to chip away at those probes to keep the gas down here for Parting a little bit. And I mean, this mothership is nearing 2 possible vortexes very, very soon, and we just have Broodlords and Corruptors on their way out. Now, with the amount of Stalkers that he's got, that is a lot.
Yeah, a lot of Lings being thrown away here. I'm getting pretty scared because there's only 2 Overseers for Violet. If Parting is able to snipe those with those Stalkers with a quick blink in, there's no units that will be able to take out that mothership.
That's a
so
lot
Violet,
of Broodlords, man.
It's just going to be able to, well, he's not going to be able to do anything, actually. So here we go, as Parting has to deal some damage to this expansion. He cannot allow Violet to get his economy back into the swing of things. The mothership is still somewhat behind. You see Parting going down to this right corner expansion. He's going to be able to take that out.
Yeah, I mean, the scary thing here, oh my gosh, a great storm on top of all the Broodlords, even on top of some of those drones as well. The one thing Violet does not want to do is he does not want to let Parting dictate the way this battle goes, because the Vortex could pretty much end his day. He's only got 2 Archons here, so those guys might be the targets, but what do we got coming in from the back? There's some more Stalkers as well. He's putting a few spines there just in case. He does have full energy on all of his infestors. He's keeping his Corruptor count up as well. But look at this, Parting starting to stabilize, getting that northwest base. He did take out this southeast base that has a ton of drones there for Violet, but no hatchery there to actually work off of. And the mothership moving forward. Oh, and he gets the toilet.
He got half of them. He got half of them, but he's not going in. Okay, he's moving in 2 Archons. Oh, the Fungal goes down. He still has 1. No, he does not. He does not. So here he goes, as the Broodlords are just too much. I think they're about to pop out, as well as the Archons from that Vortex. Here come the Psystorms going down on all the Broodlords, but it looks like, I think Violet just has too much stuff, and Parting is going to have to fall back.
Yes, another Morphing and Archon goes down. We see feedback dropped on Queens. But look at those Corruptors. They got high enough to a number. The mothership goes down.
How many Broodlords, Wheat?
Well, yeah, how many Broodlords are we at?
15 right now.
15. We got 6 more Infestors on the way. The game is still not over because it's still this 1 mining base for Violet, but the supply 109 for Parting to 152 here for Violet. And keep in mind, it's not like Violet It's not like these Broodlords move as fast as Zerglings. In fact, look, he's going to go ahead and go inside the main. He catches a bunch of Infestors. Here comes some Corruptors. What are you going to do, Corruptors? Nothing! As we see the Fungals thrown down, and now we finally have the Broodlords coming into position. They do manage to snipe that Infestation Pit as well, and I feel like Parting making all the right decisions here in this matchup.
Yeah, this is so smart by Parting. He's really abusing the fact that the army of Violet is so slow right now. He's taking out all the useful tech. The spawning pool is about to go down, and he might just leave after that. One big thing that to note is down in the bottom right-hand corner, all of the drones were burrowed that Parting was able to take out down there. So as soon as that hatchery finishes, it is going to be pretty saturated, and he will be able to get back into the economy. But this is such a weird game because it is stabilizing, like you said here, for Parting, and Violet is kind of running around the map with this very slow army. He needs to go really put the pressure on his opponent. He can't let him run around like this.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind here is that if Violet gets that base back up, which it looks like it just got back up. He's sitting on 44 larvae. Oh, he's got to actually mine. There we go. He's sitting on 44 larvae. So, I mean, think about how deadly just one single Ling run by into the main will be. The Templar Archives are there. He's got all these gateways there. He's got his Twilight Council there as well. And now some Zealots going to be coming in, and that's not going to work out too well for him. It looks like, I mean, Parting has the same idea that I think Violet needs to be having with those Zerglings. He's going after that Greater Spire. There's nothing here that's going to be able to stop it. He's going to try to move all of these Broodlords back, but too little, too late. I think he probably should have gone the other direction and gone directly in for it. He's going to go ahead and snipe 1, 2, possibly 3 Broodlords, but actually the Fungals, he drops back. Great transfuse, saves that guy, and little moves like that will manage to keep him alive in this game.
Over here at the third base of Violet, we see a storm drop about to happen. Oh, and here we go. The storm's dropping. So many drones being killed there, but Violet did pull away and only lost about half of them. But now we'll see here as the warping comes in, he's going to send the Zealots down to the bottom right-hand corner. And we see Violet is pushing across the map. Yeah, he is going to go for it here. He's going to lose all of his hatcheries, but at this point, you have no tech except for that Roach Warren, and that's all that he's able to build. And there those Zealots going in once again, along with a few of those Stalkers, but it may not matter. If he takes this out here, that is the only robotics, or excuse me, the only side core that he's got here on the map. He's going to need to rebuild that. And so far, do not see it coming back up quite yet. Yes, we do. He's already warping that in, but he's certainly going to be taking this out. The rest of his army is moving over, and you know what? We might be going into a 35-minute base trade situation after it looked like Parting was all but dead. And the question is who will come out on top? Now, what actually Violet could do here is make some Spore Callers and unburrow him and carry him around with his army. That's really the only hope, because his army is just so slow right now that he might not be able to get back home as these Zealots and Stalkers tear through his remaining bases. This is just a very weird base trade that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to pull all the drones that are still left standing. He does not have enough for a hatchery. And we've still got quite a few units here in the main. 1 Broodlord sent back. I mean, there is stuff going on everywhere. The 5th is going down. The 3rd is going down from Parting. We still don't have any additional attacks here inside the main, but look at the red that is just scattered around the map. A little Stalker group here, a little Stalker group all over the place. You know, they are just attacking from every direction, and he can't really afford to lose these investors either, so he's got to be very, very careful.
And, I mean, let's see what Violet does here. He cannot split his forces up too much, but he has enough Broodlords that he can make a pretty good army 5 and 5 and then use these Infestors as well to clean up some of these War Prisms. Oh, some feedbacks going down on the Infestors. That is going to be a huge, huge win. The last Sky Storm going out and drones being pulled. Violet does not have enough minerals right now to be able to rebuild a hatchery. And the only base actually for Parting is up here in the top right-hand corner. He does have 300 minerals at the moment. Even the probes are getting in here and trying to take out this extractor.
Yeah, you know what? The scary thing is that Violet is not going to be mobile enough to take out this main before the main goes down for Violet.
Yeah.
The Hive is going down right now. He cannot make any more Broodlords. He's trying to long-distance mine. He is about 150 away from getting an extractor, and
no hatcheries. There are no hatcheries for Violet right now.
Or a hatchery. Yeah, I mean, he needs to start laying down some extractors, and he might just be going right into the main. Actually, he's still got 2 down below at the bottom that are bleeding away, getting close to dead. And there it is. Violet will be revealed here. However, it takes in the middle. What do we have? 368 minerals here for Parting, and it's going to come down to protecting a single pylon.
Yeah, we're going to see Violet take a stand at one of these bases. He has enough to make 8 he has enough to make 8 of these extractors on the map right now.
What are these Broodlords doing? Go in and attack the main.
They're just chilling over there. It's all good. It's all good. Here come the drones as we need to see what extractor he's going to take. He has one at the natural of Parting from the very early game. And the only bases at the moment for Parting
I feel like he's got all this larva in his main. If Violet made just a single drone right there, actually he's only got 117, so it's going to come down to this one battle right here. And this is just not something that, that Parting can just walk right into. With every little volley of these broodlings, it's going to be a bad idea. And there we do have the 1 extractor at the natural of Parting's. And he's going to go and look at these drones, man. Never seen drones work so hard to take out buildings inside of a Protoss main. It's totally crazy matchup right now. As 1 extractor's taken out, we see Parting building another assimilator down here in the southeast. Oh. It's a beautiful thing, this game.
So one thing about these style of games is oftentimes players get into this situation and they make the complete wrong choice. We'll see if Parting or Violet make that critical decision that'll lose in the game. It's really going to come down to how Violet attacks, because his army is so slow, Wheat. As we go into the unit tab, are there any? Okay, there are no High Templars, only 21 Stalkers and 4 Zealots. So we can try to keep, or he could try to keep these Infestors alive as long as possible, but he's got to be careful not to get blinked on.
Yeah, I mean, he's also got to keep the drones, and he's also, I mean, the Infestors are the key. Right. If he gets that, and he does have him burrowed right now, do we have an observer out at all? We have one observer. I have no idea where he possibly is.
It is. I will keep looking for that.
Oh, look. Violet's sending one single burrowed infestor back to that assimilator, and that could be GG. There is also a pylon down here in the southeast.
It would be awesome if he sends another infestor over to the other one and takes him out at the same time. But I'm not sure if he's going to do that. Maybe he will, as the infestor is waiting. It's not throwing out any infested Terrans at the moment. We have one more infestor now going to the right. I think that's what he wants to do. Where is the observer? Oh, the observer's up here at the very north at the 12. So he might be able to do this if he takes both these out.
He's going to do it. It's not even about this army right now. This is absolutely a brutal.
But we hear it back in the main of the Parting. He might be able to blink in and take care of these forces. The remaining forces are over here at the natural. Will he blink in?
I don't think it's going to matter if he takes out this one gateway in the back, which is about ready to go down. He's got to take that out. The infested parents get popped over here on the assimilator. At the same time, the pylon as well. The pylon goes down. The assimilator's the last thing left standing. One zealot comes in, and oh my God, it's going down 18-4. What's left? He built another pylon.
Down there in the bottom left-hand corner, but now the Stalkers have blinked into the main of Parting. Good game!
GG!
Violet takes it.
Wow.
What a finish there. Parting taking out Huck, MC, and now Parting. What a crazy, crazy finish to that match. How long was that? I think 45 minutes?
40, it was a long time.
Huh.
Parting, look at his face right now. You know, I mean, it's half smile, half confusion, part frustration. The tongue is sticking out. Like, I don't blame him. That was insane.
All right, Axelov and Sheth, what do you guys think of that ridiculous base trade we just saw?
Well, ridiculous is the way to put it. I mean, it's not often you see Zerg with a slow army, Protoss with the fast one. But yeah, that game was, I mean, I thought Violet had it when he had those Broodlords. He was pushing in natural on a third. He got a little bit too impatient though when he put them all in one clump, and that just, I mean, that was the only possible way that army would die, and it just lined up perfectly, and then the game went on, and they're both just trading punches back and forth. It was really exciting.
Right. Sheth, what do you think?
Well, it was just like you said, it was an absolutely amazing game watching Violet play that. A big problem was Violet only had one upgrade on the melee attack for a very long time. I think even up to the end. Yeah, up to the very end. Never got that second melee attack. So Broodlords weren't killing those Stalkers quite as fast as you'd think they would. Yeah, and then when it went to that end, it was just it really could have been a draw if Parting had just kept the Overseer right in front, looked for those Infestors to leave. Yeah. Instead of really just trying to push in and try and kill the Broodlords himself. But I'm sure I would have done something even worse of a decision.
Well, you know what? I've got to imagine too that like when you're trying to figure out how do I win this game with what I've got. I mean, you make a brilliant observation. The observer right above the ramp to make sure, but I honestly would love to know if Parting was even expecting something like that to happen. I mean, you've got to imagine, what does my opponent have? What have I taken out? Right. I mean, it's really awesome.
I also think you're just really scared of losing that observer. That's why I had it parked in that very top corner.
That's true.
It was down to 8 lives, so a single fungal, and that thing would have been dead. And as soon as that dies, you know, there's no way to deal with Burrow.
So coming up next, guys, DRG and Gonzi. We promised you that you'd have great games all weekend long, and we're only into day 2, and we're definitely delivering here at MLG Spring Arena. So, guys, we'll be back with more. JP, any final thoughts?
I mean, Parting's in second place right now in the group, so he's had a great day 2. That's all. He really rallied in day 2.
Well, coming up next, DRG versus Gonzi. Stick around for that. We'll be right back.